Hello, thanks for watching. I'm Pastor Lawrence Hayes, and this is 5 minutes that I hope that we can share with you something from the Bible, something from our heart that changes your day or gives you hope or gives you strength in Jesus' name. We do appreciate you tuning in. And as I was thinking about today, driving out here, I thought of this verse in 2 Corinthians chapter 12, verse number 9, and he said unto me, My grace is sufficient for thee, for my strength is made perfect in weakness. Most gladly, therefore, will I rather glory in the infirmities, that the power of Christ may rest upon me. I think a lot of times when we feel weak, the enemy likes to come in and build up on their weakness and try to tell us that we're not any good or that we can't be used, we're too old, we're too young. And we use those weaknesses and we listen to the lies that he tells us, and we believe that. And once we start believing that, we start living that way. Paul here was talking about a thorn in his side, and Jesus says, listen, if you'll just trust me, you'll find that even in the infirmities of life, the hard times, the things that you don't understand, the things that you feel weak in, if you'll just trust me, I'll work it for the things that are good in your life. Because in your weakness is his strength made perfect. Reminds me of this story in Kentucky. This happened many, many years ago, but there was a little boy, and he lived on a farm. He was about 8 years old, and he was asking his dad one day, they were taking the truck out on the farm to feed the cows, and he said, listen, Dad, can I ride the back of the truck? It's so much fun. And of course the dad said, sure. And you know, as the dad seen the little boy laughing and smiling as he would go over the bumps, he had hit the gas and he was just making his son laugh when all of a sudden he hit a deep bump that just absolutely made the back end lift up, and when it did, it threw the little boy out. Well, when he landed on his left side, and it completely tore his arm off. It was a terrible thing, and then the father felt bad, and from that point on, this boy's life was different. He would become what most people would say handicapped or different. And that's how they were treating him. They were treating him, just coming over him and loving on him. And by the time he was 12 years old, he said, I'm tired of being treated any different. There's still something in me that I want to do. There's still things I can offer. I'm not weak just because I'm not like everybody else. And he said, Mom, I want to take karate. And his mom shook her head and said, no way, there is no way I'm going to let you take a sport that the other kids are going to. And he said, I'm tired of talking about what everybody else has. Let's talk about what I have. So finally she agreed to it, and she drove him down to the karate instructor, and she called him to the side and said, listen, now that's my baby. If something happens to him, you better know a whole lot of karate, because I'm going to come after you, because that's my baby. He said, that's okay, ma'am, we'll take care of him. So the karate instructor works with him and calls him to the side, and every day shows him just one move. Every day for a year, one move. That's all he ever learned. After that year was up, he entered him into the Kentucky State karate tournament. And this boy was like, come on, coach, it's time for me to learn something else. If you're going to enter me in a tournament, I better know something. He said, trust me, just do the one move. Well, they get to the tournament. The first two matches, the boy wins. The third match is a little tougher, but he wins. Fourth match, he is facing the kid who has won the state championship 3 years in a row. And he gets out there, and now all of a sudden he starts thinking, I'm not like this kid. I better do something different. And he tries to do things that he wasn't, and he became weak again. And in that weakness, he was starting to get beat, and the coach called for a timeout, and he called him to the side and said, listen, Johnny, I've told you to do one move, and there is a reason. You've got to get back out there and do the one thing that I taught you. So Johnny gets out there, and he does the one move. He does it a couple of times and wins. He wins the state tournament. A one-armed kid wins a karate tournament. As they're driving home, he looks to the coach and says, Coach, how did you know that one move could make me strong? He said this. He said, the only way to defend the move that I told you is to grab the other one's left arm. You don't have one, which makes whatever made you feel weak now gives you the purpose to be victory, to have victory in your life. So I want to tell you today, if you'll just trust God for whatever you're going through, He will work it to the good. And He will take what your weakness is, and He'll make His strength perfect in it, that you become a champion. So thank you for tuning in. God bless you, and I hope these 5 minutes has touched your heart.